Let me introduce you to David Newman. I'm showing you his LinkedIn profile. One thing is I can read this whole like a profile. You don't want me to do it. Why not you go ahead and find him on LinkedIn and add him as a connection so that way you can start learning just like I started learning from him. Welcome to our show.
Here, thank you again for inviting me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. How do you really answer? I know you have a 17 answer to this question. How much do you charge?
The three answers that you don't want to give. You don't want to give some random answer. For example, a lot of people, a lot of salespeople and marketing people and a lot of entrepreneurs, they say, well, on average, it costs X. And the average, no one cares about the average. They say, hey, how much is this going to cost for me, for my situation, for what I want to fix, for what I want to solve, for what I want to buy? So don't quote some random number. Don't quote a range. Don't quote the average. Don't quote any of that. Number two is don't act surprised or don't be caught off guard by that question. Expect the question to come at the wrong time. Expect the question to come too early. Expect the question to come at an awkward moment during that conversation, and then be prepared for it. And then the third thing not to do is don't get defensive. Don't start to defend your price or say, well, it's $17,000, but that's because, or it's $5,000, but I can work with you, which means you've got no pricing integrity, and that you're willing to negotiate down to zero, and then that gets the prospect thinking, how low can we go? So just don't do those three things. Reframe the question as a positive, and then we'll go through all the specific answers that some of them are funny, and some of them are very relevant, and some of them get the prospect focused back on where they should be focused, which is on solving their problem. Premium pricing and about setting the expectation and having a little bit of humor in the conversation. But if someone asks at the wrong time or in the wrong way, how much do you charge? One of my answers is, it's $9 million until I know what you're buying. So can we spend a few minutes narrowing that down to help you lower the price? And again, the language there at the end is kind of fun. Hey, listen, it's $9 million. Why? Because that's the ultimate, that's me being your slave for the next 10 years. Will cost you $9 million. If that's not what you have in mind, then let's figure out what you're really buying, and that will help us lower the price. Now again, let's say you're selling, Siddique, you said you sell these $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 packages, and that's awesome. Maybe we should talk offline about how you do that, because I'd love to be in that ballpark myself. So then the question is, okay, you just quoted $9 million even as a joke, and now they find out it's really $100K. Well, because you anchored their mind at $9 million, even $100K sounds less expensive. It sounds reasonable. It sounds affordable. Because you put it in the context of this big giant number, even as a joke, because the brain often cannot distinguish what is said in humor versus what is said seriously. So you say, well, hey, listen, it's $9 million until I know what you're buying. The brain says $9 million. That's an awful lot of money. You then come to the end of the conversation a few minutes or half an hour later, and you say, well, based on what you want to accomplish, I have a program for that. It costs $100K, and here's how it works, and here's what you get, and here's the value, impact, outcome, and results of you putting in that $100K, and hopefully the outcome is many multiples of that $100K coming back to them. You've already anchored them at $9 million, so $100K now sounds cheap.
So, David, what you're talking about is almost like a law of gravity. So you're like coming from all the way and coming down.
Yes.
And they say, oh, I'm more relaxed now, It looks like a very cheap and very reasonable package because they say, oh, his high end is, even though you said as a joke, it's a $9 million, they don't know it's real or not.
Right.
Is that true?
That's true.
Okay, cool. And by the way, my philosophy is, even when we are offering something, I don't even offer a price at all. I say, just like, if it's really, I'm sure it's one of your answers, by the way, which I use it without even not knowing it. Now I will be using it formally because I'm learning it formally I'm authenticating my sales cycle, basically, with you to answer that question. So
you're still watching this?
that really mean you like the answer given by David Newman. And that was just one of the answers. You just got it. And there are 16 more answers to that question. You remember the question? How much do you charge? Imagine that having a 17 possible answers to that single question when you get from your prospective buyer or customer or client, whatever you call it. I have recorded a 1-hour interview one-to-one with him, and I want to give you all. What you have to do is take your cell phone out. Here's how my cell phone look like. It's an old iPhone, and you don't have to have an iPhone. You can be Android phone or even an old-fashioned simple phone which can send text, and which I'm aware of worldwide. Everybody can send a text from the cell phones. What you have to do is take that cell phone out and send a text message to this number. You see there's a number called 404-418-6019. Again, 404-418-6019. When you send a message, in a message put a word charge, CHARGE. You see it here. I'm showing you everything. In case for some reason where I'm pointing my fingers and you don't see it, let me show you the old-fashioned way. You see this? Text charge to 404-418-6019. If you are texting from outside of US or Canada, you may have to do a +1 on the front, or maybe 011, whatever is your country, from your country, how you make a call to US. You are not calling, you are going to text it. +1 404-418-6019. When you are texting to this number, the word charge, you are giving me a permission to call you or text you, myself, my team, or my system. Thank you so much. I look forward to connecting with you soon.